Hello everyone, this is Paul Bertorelli reporting from Avweb, Slovenia, and this is the new Pipistrel Pantera, which is undergoing certification testing here in Avweb. As you may have read, the airplane has gotten a new engine. It's the IO540 to replace the IO390, which was originally planned for the aircraft. And we'll talk to Tina Tomaszak first about the status of the certification project. Then we'll take a brief demonstration flight with Pipistrel's Robert Likar.
Pantera now has about 110 hours of flight test on it. We are now in the middle of the spin testing campaign. About 60 cases were performed, about 60 cases remain. Otherwise, we've covered every aspect of stability, controllability, slipping, skidding, forward CG, aft CG, takeoff performance test, climb performance test. So literally it's just the second portion of the spin testing and the high-speed envelope exploration that remains. We have now hit a 210 knots indicated. We need to go up to 245, which is the VD. We have heard a lot about the aircraft's performance expectations versus reality. We have tested 5 different propeller combinations and different airframe configurations. No antennas, let's say antennas mounted, footsteps retracted, footstep extended. The aeroplane, the maximum speed we have hit was 196 knots through in cruise configuration, which is 6 knots slower than what was calculated. It represents less than 3% of the performance, I'd say, off the expectation mark. We are, however, doing rather well on the lower speed envelope. In fact, the projected stall speed is 5 knots slower than what was calculated, and this allows us for a payload increase. That will make a lot of owners happy, more so than the 6 knots of speed that we are lacking. We have selected the 260 horsepower variant of the IO540. It's a fuel-injected straight valve engine. And what is peculiar about this engine choice is that we are in fact not aiming at a dramatic performance increase. We do not feel that the aeroplane needs more horsepower. Rather, the 6-cylinder engine will add a lot of flexibility to the operations. So the particular 540 260 horsepower variant has the most different fuel types approved for any aviation engine. This is what was our promise, and the aeroplane will be easily able to operate on MOGAS conditions. There will be more than 220 horsepower always available on the prop, essentially providing for turbocharged levels of performance if we kept the 4-cylinder engine on. But the complexity is not there. The high maintenance cost of a turbocharged engine is not there, and the fact that the engine uses straight valves versus the angular means that the running cost maintenance is marginally higher with the 540 versus the 390.
The Pantera is by no means a big airplane. Despite the foreshortening lens here, the wingspan is 33 feet or 11 meters, but at 49 inches or 124 centimeters, the cabin is quite wide at the shoulders. Access to the rear seat is through a large hatch, and there's plenty of leg and shoulder room back there too. Ingress into the front seats requires a head duct, or, oops, you won't do that a second time. We flew an IO390 equipped Pantera since the IO540 hadn't been installed yet. The test article is equipped with a Dynon Skyview and a Garmin GTN 650-750 combination, but Pipistrel hasn't decided on final avionics yet. There's almost certain to be other options. Behind Pipistrel's factory is a well-manicured 1,000-meter turf runway, and that damp grass takes a toll on takeoff performance. I wouldn't call it sluggish exactly, but it's not strong either. The IO540's additional 50 horsepower will help that. Once the gear is folded, the Pantera accelerates and easily climbs at 1,200 feet per minute at a mid-weight. As you can see, cockpit visibility forward is a little restricted by the center post that forms the cabin's crash-worthy structure, but it's not much of a hindrance. The view out the sides is excellent.
Robert, we've just taken off from the grass airfield at Avweb. Tell me a little bit about how you do takeoffs in this airplane. We used a little bit of flap.
Yes, so for the normal taking off, we use flaps 1, 15 degrees. And we use normal full forward, the propeller and mixture also. Just expecting rotating at 63 knots. so it depends on the weight of the aircraft, but it takes near 500 feet to 600 feet. As you saw, when we're climbing and try to maintaining the climb airspeed 80, the angle is quite steep, and so the performance has been performed quite good for this type of aircraft.
Now on this flight we've been up to about 5,000 feet. We saw a cruise airspeed, true airspeed of about 180 knots or so.
Yes, and then we do the lean, the engine lean, and we with consumption about 55 liters per hour, we do achieve exactly what the paper says, so that was 40 liters, and when the airspeed was constant, it was 38 liters per hour consumption.
And, at 38 liters, which is right a little under 10, or right around 10 gallons.
Yes, it is a little less than 10 gallons per hour.
We were seeing about 170 to 173 knots.
You were correct. At this airspeed we have exactly 10 gallons per hour consumption.
You'd think that landing something as slick-looking as a Pantera would be demanding, but it actually lands like a Cherokee thanks to a docile low-speed envelope. We used 75 knots indicated over the fence, and it felt like it could safely be a lot slower than that. It's too soon to draw serious conclusions about the Pantera. We'll need to see how it performs with the IO 540 to see what it's really capable of. For now, it's a moderately fast cruiser with the best fuel economy of any four-place gasoline airplane we've flown. That's no small achievement for a company new to certified aircraft. For a full report on the Pantera, including Pipistrel's plans for a hybrid and an electric model, see the July 2014 issue of Aviation Consumer Magazine. For Avweb, I'm Bertorelli reporting. Thanks for watching.